on this episode. We left our home in the city and moved to the country. Here, on 160 acres of land, we made our homestead. This is our story. Oh man, it's nice out today.
Oh, enjoyable. What a fabulous winter day.
This is a huge change from just a couple of days ago. Minus 40 to like
Above zero?
Nearly a 50-degree difference. Here it is, like, what is it, plus 3, 4?
We've had quite some swings in the weather temps this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, that is awesome. So why are we here today?
Well, welcome back, viewers. Welcome to Trevor and Dawn's Home North. We're here to talk to you today about dangers of living on the homestead.
Dangerous homestead. Dangers on the homestead. Yes, you may be fooled into thinking that there are no dangers because you look around and you go, wow, that place looks beautiful. Well, you would be wrong, my good YouTube viewer. It can be plenty dangerous here. And we thought about doing this at night, but it'd just be too dark and you wouldn't see us. You just hear us and it wouldn't...
It'd be too dangerous.
It'd be too... It'd be too damn dangerous yes, to be out here. We'd probably be carried off by bears or wolves. And speaking of bears and wolves, that brings us into I think a good topic to start. Wildlife.
Dangers of wildlife.
Dangerous wildlife. Sure, there's wildlife in the city, but it's different out here because of the isolation. We're alone, so... let's say you're out here and you're cutting trees by yourself, or you're even just taking a walk or whatever. There are times when you can run into to wildlife. Say in the spring, a bear. Okay, now bears normally would go out of their way to avoid you. Okay, as soon as they hear you, they'd avoid you. But female bears with their cubs. Okay, if you happen to come upon them and you startle them and get in between the female bear and her cubs, she will attack you. Okay, I've heard of it, okay, and that is a real danger. I don't know, if you're not armed, okay, you would be in a lot of trouble if a female bear decided that you were in between her and her cubs.
Well, that reminds me of when I was actually out working in the field.
I remember you told me about this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually quite a distance from the house, and out in the distance in the field, I saw a female bear and her 2 cubs walking out there, and I'm looking, I'm thinking, okay, how fast can I get back to the house before I get spotted?
Yeah, you were pretty close to the house, so I don't think she would have come after you. But we do go out into the woods and pick Saskatoons. Mm-hmm. Okay, now bears love berries. And there is every real chance that you could come across a female and her cubs, because I know just out that way, and I know that we didn't get up and show anybody out that way, but out that way I have seen bear. There's bear that we've seen, and I know for a fact that they travel this way because remember when we saw that great walking across the field that time, that thing was the size of a Volkswagen.
I know.
Okay, so it's a real possibility that you could be out there and get caught off guard by a bear and her cubs. And I think that's the primary danger for the bears. Otherwise, they avoid you unless something's wrong. Yeah, they're really hungry. Mm-hmm. That would be a problem too. And then coyotes. The next biggest thing we have out here are coyotes by the tons. Mm-hmm. You hear them all night long. And wolves, mm-hmm. timber wolves. I've actually seen a gray wolf. Remember, I told you it was right at the front of our yard. There were 2 of them, and I caught them peeking out of the tall grass. But as soon as I went over there, of course, they went.
They scattered.
They scattered, yeah. And I didn't get I did catch it on my phone, but it wasn't a very good video. Mm. Also, skunks. Now they're not dangerous unless you get sprayed. Okay, nobody wants to get sprayed. I mean, remember Buford? Buford got sprayed and he stank and it was terrible. Buford's our dog, or used to be our dog. And he got sprayed, and I assume that the cats could get sprayed too, and we if we got sprayed, that'd be horrible.
Oh, it just stinks.
It stinks. It's
and
terrible.
He stunk. That dog stunk so bad for I'd say over a week.
Yeah, and rabies. Okay, I did see one wandering around during the day, and it was erratic. It wasn't foaming at the mouth, but I think there was something wrong with it.
It was scattering all over the place. It was like,
yep.
Just very strange to see it.
So that's a danger too. Rabies, definitely rabies. You don't want to get bitten by a rabid skunk is a...
Or any animal.
Yeah, any animal, but skunk is a carrier, like raccoons. Mm-hmm. Raccoons and skunks are carriers.
Yep.
What else?
Well, there's been talk of having some... cats out here, not cats, but like
yes, that's right.
Cougars and lynx.
Our neighbor down the road. I don't know if we should say his name just yet.
You're right,
because he hasn't agreed to be on our show. But he has told me that just recently they've cited cougar. Now I don't mean older
yes,
women.
Everybody have a good laugh now.
I don't mean older women looking for a good time or younger men. I mean actual cat. Which would be cool to see. But I imagine for livestock, okay, for the farmers around here, a cougar would be bad for their livestock.
Yeah.
Very bad. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of amazing. We do have those the trail cam out, and we're always trying to see what we can catch on camera.
You mentioned livestock farmers being concerned. Other predators or wildlife that could get the livestock of the farmers is the foxes.
Yep. Well, fox in a hen house. That's a real thing. Now that we have the chicken coop built, we have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, as soon as we get those cute little chickens, they will be on the menu for the foxes and the coyotes out here. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. We're not out here to, it's not a soup kitchen for the wildlife. We'll have to make sure that's going to be secured.
Another animal that comes to mind, it's not so much wildlife, but a problematic creature is mice.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If you want to talk about diseases and viruses, everybody's really worried about COVID right now, but hantavirus, mice carry hantavirus in their droppings, and there's a lot of mice out here. Mm-hmm. Not so much rats. Rats are not the... we've got cats out here, but they can't mop up every single mouse. So, yeah, hantavirus from mice is kind of a problem. Oh, okay, speaking of animals, you don't think of them as an animal, but woodticks. Ticks are a problem.
Ugh.
They also carry disease. Mm-hmm. What's the Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Lyme disease. Okay, they carry disease, but mosquitoes can carry disease, and they can be a real problem in the summer.
Oh, well, mosquitoes are a problem because we don't have any spraying out here, so there's
no. That's right, no spray program.
Yeah, you don't get any spray, and we don't do anything like that for ourselves. So all we
too big. Couldn't possibly spray every.
No,
we've got so much water here
standing
too.
water, the ponds, right? And yeah, so mosquitoes can be very. What's the word?
Problematic.
Oh, yeah, problematic. But I mean, I was going to say there's so many of them.
It's your disease vector. Mm-hmm. We'll have a disease vector of the month.
But
mosquitoes.
I want to go back to the woodticks.
Okay, woodticks.
Yeah, the woodticks are okay.
Oh, there's one there.
Ah!
No. No, okay.
I almost believed it because it's warmer and we could have one.
See this stuff? Thanks to that, we still won't have any for a little while.
Oh my God! Don't do that to me.
All right.
But the woodticks, it's not so much that they're fast or anything, because they're certainly not. Well, okay, they're somewhat fast, but they're stealthy, and I really
they're there. You look 1 minute, the next minute you look, they're there.
Yeah, you could look, and it's like, okay, no woodticks, and then suddenly you'll look back, it's like, what's crawling my? Oh my God, how did that thing get there?
Yeah.
Or not there, or in places you don't think to look.
Yep, that's a different show. This is a family-friendly show. That's a different show where they'll show you where Woodticks can hide.
And you go for a walk through the field, and they're climbing up the blades of grass. They're standing at the top of the grass, and they're not just standing there. Okay, they're not just crawling.
No, they're waiting.
They're waiting. They
Yep.
have their
That's how-
arms out. They're waiting for you like this
Yep.
to latch on to anything that
Yep.
comes by.
Yep.
Oh my God, they're so.
All right. Well, okay. What is a danger? Crime. Okay. Now, hold on. Yeah. Crime is bad. Crime is everywhere. But out here, okay. Again, you're dealing with the isolation factor. Okay. We're by ourselves, and wait, we're not always by ourselves. Okay, no, scratch that. We're constantly surrounded by minions. No, anyway, when you're your nearest neighbor is a mile away. If somebody is on the property, especially in the evening when you don't expect them, it's a problem because they don't wander in and out around here. It's not like Girl Scouts are going to come to the door and you're not going to blow away some Girl Scout.
I'm not going to blow away a Girl Scout.
But the problem is when you see people here, especially at night, and if they're rifling through your stuff or your car or whatever, and you wouldn't even know it if they were out here, okay? Like, because our actual house is quite a bit a ways from here. So crime definitely, and police response time. Maybe from where our police are coming from, it's maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour before they'd get here. So we'd be hacked to bits well before a cop gets here. Well, yeah,
I don't
it's true.
think anybody has any plans to hack us to bits. I hope, but
Yeah, well, that's still a thing though. That's a problem.
It's also when you're new to an area, right? There's a lot of strangers, and when we moved here, a lot of people would just drive up to the driveway and say, "Hey, we want to check out the new people living here," which we thought was really odd. Well, at least I thought it was kind of strange anyway.
That country hospitality, it's a little different when you're
unnerving, right?
Well, when you're from the city, it's something a little different. It's like, oh, okay, people just are friendly. They come out here and talk to you, so you got to get used to that,
right?
And
they're probably not a problem, but like I said, it's unnerving when you don't know these people, or somebody comes right up, your 100-foot long driveway, and they're parked in front of your house for minutes, staring at your house and not getting out of the car. It's, can we help you? It's like, oh well, we knew the former people that lived here. Okay, well they don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. They just camp outside at night.
It could be scary. You don't know.
Okay.
It's used to it now, though.
All right. Another thing that could be scary.
Yep.
Hunting. Okay.
Dangerous.
Hunting dangers.
Yeah.
And I don't mean you and me going out hunting. I mean other hunters. Okay. When you're out here, okay, you hear shots all the time, and that's fine because people are hunting and you're allowed to hunt. But there have been. I do know of a case, okay, where someone's been badly hurt by a stray bullet. So. When hunting season rolls around, you do have to think about it a little bit, and wear some blaze orange when we're out here because that you hear that bullet, the next thing you know, you might be face down. So
we've traveled to the ends of our property. We traveled out there, and at the fence line. On the other side, you could see that there was quad tracks. So people have been as close as that, and it's quite a possibility that they might be shooting in this direction towards our home.
You just don't know. Hunting safety is something you got to take really seriously, and I mean from the perspective of us just being out here. If we're not hunting, okay, but hunting's going on all around us, you do have to worry about it. So a stray bullet, it's a real thing. Well,
that also leads into what happens if you do get injured out here.
911. Yeah, it is not a simple 911 call. Especially because we don't have a traditional landline. All right, the phone service out here kind of sucks. So we've got VoIP. Okay, now VoIP is great, except that they don't know where the hell you're calling from. So when you call 911 on VoIP, it takes them some time to figure out where to send an ambulance from. And all of this adds up to, we're talking an hour or more. Now, you had a problem. Yep. You want to tell everyone about it?
Yeah, well, one time I came home. I was driving in the car. I had to come home suddenly because I was having some dizzy spell, and when I got home, I said, "Trev, call the 911," and literally it was I think it was about an hour until they got here.
Yep, yep, and that was crazy because, I called and the woman really didn't know where I was, where we were. She finally routed an ambulance for us, but it was coming from quite a ways
It
away.
didn't even come from our own.
It didn't
RM.
come from our own RM.
Yep.
So that was that sucked. And then they took you to a hospital that wasn't even the
Nearby.
one we should be going
Yeah.
to. Yeah. So yeah, and that was a relatively minor event. Now, if it was a heart attack or something else, I would hope that they would bring in the STARS helicopter, or whatever. But for basic 911, it's not like being in the city.
No.
So that can be dangerous, I guess.
Yeah.
You really have to look out for yourself more when you're out here. You have to take your own health and welfare into response. You have to be far more responsible for your welfare and safety than you would in the city. When we lived in the city, I don't think I thought of that as much. I figured, if you get hurt, you phone 911, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the same. That's not the case out here.
I would definitely advocate for knowing CPR and first aid out here.
Yeah, for sure. For
Maybe
sure.
even having one of those AED kits. What do you call them?
Automatic
The
defibrillator.
defibrillator,
Yeah,
yeah.
They might be worth having.
So you mentioned
Yeah.
that we don't have a traditional phone to call 911.
That's correct.
VoIP. Also, another problem with that is it's also connected to power. And another problem could be if the power goes out here.
In a storm or whatever, or just a power outage, because they seem to happen a little bit more often here than it would in the city. Excuse me. Yeah, if power goes out, because we're completely dependent on electric power here for everything, if it goes out in the middle of the winter when it's super cold, that's a problem for us. And yeah, your internet and your computers and your phones and everything eventually die because the batteries run out. So yeah, that's definitely a problem when the power goes out. Danger on the homestead. No power. That's a problem.
For us, anyway. Maybe some people are a little more equipped. We're getting there.
And the reason power might go out, in addition to just spotty service, would be a storm. Okay, like we've had a pretty good blizzard here a few times where we were, and the power does go out. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, it hasn't been for more than a couple of hours.
Yes.
But a winter storm, so blizzards are a problem. And in the summer, okay, there really isn't much. Okay, we don't suffer from a lot of like thunderstorms, yes, but they're not really the problem. The problem is lightning strikes and actual tornadoes. Tornadoes can be a problem. We've come really close to having a tornado. They've been all around us. Okay, you researched that, right? And you found out that they were fairly close?
Yes. Should I say Winnipeg Beach?
Yeah? Okay, yeah, that's close.
That was a couple years back. And I think just on the other side of Lake Manitoba, which is
Yep.
Relatively close to us.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
talking maybe 100 kilometers from us.
Yeah,
Anyway.
okay. Like
And-
we're in the middle of two very large lakes. And so, things generally tend to happen on either side of them. But it doesn't mean it couldn't, run right through here and, like you see on the movies, it just whips us up and takes us straight to Kansas.
But even if we don't get a tornado here, which would definitely be a danger, we've had some pretty strong windstorms here.
Yeah, wind also is very damaging.
And that has knocked out our power.
Wind will rip apart your roof. It will topple things over.
It's knocked down a lot of trees.
Yeah, that too. Knocking over the poplars around here. They grow very rapidly, but they're also very prone to breaking.
Yeah, they're pretty
and
weak.
wind will knock over those poplars, and yeah, that keeps us busy with the chainsaw. Yeah, definitely a problem.
Another danger is the like some of the types of foliage out here. And I'm not talking like the trees falling over. We said that. But poison oak, poison ivy, we've got poison sumac, we've got stinging nettles, which, you put your hand down in the weeds,
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're
Well,
burning.
Yeah,
It's
well,
burning.
okay, that's a danger for you, not so much for me. I've touched all of that stuff and I never get any itchy or anything like that. Like a certain percentage of the population does have immunity to poison ivy, like the urushiol oil in it. I don't know. I'm not exactly certain. We'll just we'll caption down here what I just tried to say. But yeah, not everybody suffers the same way, but you just kind of look at it the wrong way and boom,
I just have to look at the garden and I'm itchy.
Yeah. So gardening for you is a danger.
And-
Dangerous gardening. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what also we have here? Hawthorn trees. Those
Oh, yeah, the needles from a hawthorn tree are crazy. You break one off and you could literally use it to sew with.
Yeah.
They're so sharp.
It's like a dagger.
That is a problem. And did we mention lightning? Lightning can start fires. In the whole weather-related thing with the storms and the tornadoes and stuff, lightning can start fires. We've actually seen some trees out there that you can tell they were crispy because they got hit by lightning and they burned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, forest fires just a couple of years ago. Was it 2 years ago that that forest fire was raging just to our north?
Yep.
Okay, and that went on for.
That was close. Like
That
I
was
think that
really-
was about less than 40 kilometers.
That
from
was
us.
really close, and that was scary because a forest fire would. There's not a whole lot you could do, except get out of its way.
Yeah.
So yeah, forest fire or if any kind of fire here on our property can be a problem. And when we moved in here, you can see they did have a fire.
Yep.
Quite a long time ago, where you can see the remains of where they tried to build up berms to contain it.
Yep.
And that's actually what all those berms are.
And I mean, yes, those are the ones that you can't control. But sometimes we've gone out on the property, especially in the spring, and there'll be a fire going on our property, and it's like, what's going on here? Like the first time we saw, and we didn't know that the farmers were burning their stubble off, and the fire had spread onto our property.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. Concerning. It's done all the time, but I it makes me a little nervous because you see this fire coming towards
It's creeping along your
Yeah.
land, and it's like.
But it does help. It actually prevents fires because what they're doing is they're burning off the scrub and all the dead wood and clear. They're actually clearing it out. It makes it less prone to fire. It
The
can
first time
be
we saw it,
unnerving to
yeah.
see it. Yes. So, but fire's definitely a danger. I guess anywhere, but particularly here. And again, the reason things are more dangerous here is because of the isolation. All right, so we've covered some of the very real dangerous topics, okay? I'd like to stray now a little bit into more what-if scenarios, okay? And I've talked to a lot of people out here, and there's a firm belief that there is Bigfoot out here, okay? No, you laugh, but okay. Yes, you could say, oh, they're just bears or it's just noises you hear in the night. But there are a lot of people who swear that there's some kind of creature that roams around in here. Now, maybe this isn't the place to, completely and thoroughly discuss the topic of Bigfoot. But, that future episode, we will search for Bigfoot here in, northern Manitoba. Very real, concern. So if you're out here at night, we don't want to be taken away by Bigfoot. Okay. All right. Zombie apocalypse could possibly happen. Maybe not the zombies, but some sort of virus epidemic. Like what's going on right now. There's a very real viruses are a very real thing. So zombies could be next on the horizon. What else?
Well,
What else? What other flights of fancy can you think of that would be scary?
how about the leeches that I found in the pond?
Okay, yeah. Oh, that could mutate, right? And get
sure,
huge
yeah.
leech monsters.
Yep,
Giant attacking 50-foot leech monster.
In fact, I think there's a swamp monster in this one.
Could be, yeah. Could be a swamp monster.
Must be that green ice.
The green, yes. Well, okay. You do remember that there was some mysterious green ice on our pond when we were trying to clear it. Now, where did that come from? Swamp monster or just natural occurrence, who's to say?
Who is?
Could be a swamp monster. Or at least one in hibernation. I'm willing to go with many theories on this. All right.
So YouTube subscribers, tell us what your top dangers are.
Oh, yeah. Wherever you're living, what's the dangers that you face?
And tell us how you think our list compares to what you see are the dangers in the rural living.
Yeah, something like that. All right.